Welcome to the Ear Swap Podcast.
And
I almost said short stories.
Yeah, you about to
Yeah.
short stories.
Short
It's been
stories.
months.
It's been so long.
It's been
I want to
months.
bring it back. I say that every time, but
Every
I
episode, I think
legitimately
you've said
want to
it.
bring it back. It's technically still alive. If anybody's crossing over from that one, it's on a hiatus.
All right.
I think there's
Potential.
potential in that topic.
All right.
Topic of shit.
I've got plenty.
Which is a good topic for this album you suggested, but we have stuff to do before that.
That's right. Welcome to episode 12. It is the Christmas holiday season, and what better gift to get your lover or your family member or your dog than an Ear Swap shirt right here. They are in a beautiful green color with the Ear Swap logo made by the fantastic Brett Nugent.
Yes.
And we also have stickers. Be sure to head to our store, earswappod.bandcamp.com, to grab some merchandise. It'd be a great gift.
For
It's a
sure.
holiday season.
Featuring the Ear Swap Goblin. Is that what we're
Goblin.
Gremlin? Goblin?
Goblin.
Yeah. We don't know where that came from. That's bread.
That
all
bread.
bread. We were like, hey, you want to do a logo? And he was like, yeah, how about this goblin?
Yeah.
And we were like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. So,
So we got it. This is
Yeah.
the original print.
yeah. Can they see that?
Yeah, they can probably see it
Okay.
in the background, but I got the original print. It used to be up there, and I framed them the other day.
Sick.
And then he made this other one that's incredible, too.
Yeah.
That's like an alternate logo.
I'd like to use that for something, too.
Yeah,
but,
no, that thing
yeah.
is so sick. So, yeah, be sure to grab a T-shirt or grab a sticker. With each T-shirt, we will throw in a free sticker. How about that?
Works for me.
Holiday season, baby. So we are going to start off with my recommendation this week, which is Jesus Lizard GOAT. Not Tom Brady,
GOAT.
but the album GOAT.
The album GOAT.
So this album fucking rips, dude.
Does it?
I think it does. And this is why I recommended it to you. So in the last episode, we were talking Husker Du and kind of mentioned Jesus Lizard because it's like Midwestern kind of, Texas, Steve Albini era shit, kind of
Yes.
adjacent. And I fucking love this band. It's one of those bands that Dwayne Dennison, their guitar player, is one of the most influential guitar players for me, and how I play and how I write parts. David Yao, not so much with the vocals, but his vocals are great. So my question for you, Shane, what'd you think?
So first impression, more boobies on the cover. You got another album with boobies on it.
What? That's boobs?
Yeah, those are boobs.
What?
Yeah, pull that up. Zoom in.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I've
those are
never.
boobs.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, boobs with nails
Huh?
projected on them. Yeah.
9-inch nails. Trent Reznor's on the cover.
So yeah, another booby album.
Another-
I need to suggest a booby album to you.
Yeah, you
I'm gonna
do.
Find something. So.
I didn't even know those were boobs.
They're boobs. She's
No
like, man,
shit.
I really like this cover. I don't know why. But yes. So I described them in my notes as a slimy, like sweaty, greasy Texan cousin to Slint.
Which there's a lot of relation
There
to
is-
Slint.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
And I'll just get right into it. I really like this. It's good. It's really good. I
This
was
was
giving you shit earlier. But
No, I
it's
know.
good.
This was one of those albums I was almost certain you would like.
Yes. Yeah, this one in Slint, I could be like, you pick this out just for me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get it.
I've been saving Jesus Lizard for obviously like 12 episodes or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I want to give him like a really good fucking listen
Yeah.
of something, I'm going to give him
I
this.
don't
and
have
did.
anything saved like that.
You
I
know,
mostly have a bunch of stuff I'm like, hey, he's never fucking heard of this.
You know, I'm just
And
trying to
like-
treat you kindly. I'm just trying to
Which-
treat you kindly.
I didn't know the Jesus Lizard. I don't think I'd ever heard him.
That's
So,
incredible to
yeah,
me.
I don't know.
Slint was like that. Was this another episode 8?
You've
never heard this album?
Yeah, I've never heard this
Yeah,
album.
That's crazy though.
I guess I've heard the name, but I never listened to him.
Yeah, they're in Nope. She's wearing a Jesus Lizard shirt
Oh.
in that movie actually.
I think you pointed that out
I
to me,
did.
and I was like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I was like, that's fucking rad. You don't see that all the
No.
time.
Oh, that's cool.
So, what'd you think? What was your favorite song on this?
Favorite song? That's a tough one on this one,
Mhm.
actually. I mean, the one that caught my attention the most, the first listen to, was Seasick.
Oh,
Um,
that fucking riff, dude.
I showed that to Caitlin, and she was like, "Is this a new Chat Pile song?" Like, she literally was like, "You could have told me that was," and I
Yeah.
believe it. But that song, just like that whole thing, it's just chaotic and noisy.
That's
and
my soundtrack
repetitious.
song.
Like, really?
Every time I soundtrack guitar, I'd
Yeah.
play Seasick.
Heck yeah. Monkey Trick was also awesome. The freaking bass lines in this record are nuts.
Oh,
like,
fuck yeah, dude.
So the first time I put it on, Then Comes Deadly is the first song. I was not sold.
Really?
I think that's probably the weakest song on the record. Mostly because like in that it's pretty repetitive. They don't really cut loose with any of their like instrumentation throughout it, and it has a really long like music intro before they get to the vocals. So in my head, I was sitting there and I was like, "What are the vocals gonna be like?"
Yeah.
And I was kind of playing through in my head like what they could be. And then when they came in, I was like, "Oh, thank God!" Because if they would have been like really clean, like it would have ruined it so much. But I mean that song grew on me as it went. But the first three, and then it got to Mouth Breather and Nub, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty good." And then Seasick came on, and I was like, "Oh, hell yeah!"
Yeah.
And then I was sold from that point on.
Seasick is fucking great.
Seasick's
Mouth Breather
so
is
Mouth
also
Breather.
a great song.
Oh, that's excellent. Which, do you know the story behind that one?
I absolutely
You
do.
Yeah. You go ahead and tell that. This is your pick.
So the story Mouth Breather comes from a story of the lead singer of Slint. What's his name? Oh my God, I'm forgetting his name. But he was watching Steve Albini's house.
Yes.
And
I didn't think it was the lead singer.
it was one of the members, drummer.
It was the drummer.
It was the drummer of Slint. And this story is in that Slint documentary.
Okay.
You can find it in there. And it was a conversation between Steve Albini and David Yao, the lead singer of Jesus Lizard. And Steve had the drummer from Slint,
Britt Walford.
watch his house, and then it ended up flooding when Britt was watching it. And Steve Albini went up to David Yao, was like, "Man, I fucking love that guy."
That's actually not the same story I heard.
That's what I heard in the Slint documentary.
Okay.
Like, I love that guy, but
this,
he's a mouth breather.
Yeah. I read this on I think it was an interview with him. He said he was watching his house.
Yeah.
And he lost the keys immediately. This is the one I heard. And so
Okay.
he just kicked down the fucking door and just like kicked it in. And then instead of like even like propping it up, he just nailed 2x4s into the.
I think that is right.
Yeah.
I don't know where I heard the flooding story.
Okay.
I'd have to watch the documentary again.
I'm gonna look that up.
But of the same vein,
mm-hmm.
the drummer from Slint's a mouth breather.
He's a mouth breather,
apparently. So that's where that came from.
Which the interview I was talking about, I think it might have been. I can't remember if it was with old what's his name from the Jesus Lizard,
David Yao,
or with Steve Albini, but he was just like, yeah, people from Louisville are they're just a little different.
They're just a little different.
Yeah.
That song has a fucking great guitar riff.
Oh, yeah.
That's also one of my favorite ones to play.
That was the single off of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, this album is disgusting.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah.
And it's delightfully just nasty.
They're just a
great
4-piece rock band.
Yeah.
Like they just know each member is so fucking unique to what they do, and they all play off each other so well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just always great to listen to.
Early on listening to it, I was trying to like figure out a genre for it, and I wrote down pre-industrial country post-hardcore noise rock.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they got some slide guitar shit.
It's very like you can tell they're from Texas. I don't know.
Yeah.
Really how to describe it aside from that, but it's got a Texas sound to it.
Yeah. I love Dwayne Dennison's guitar playing so fucking much.
Okay. Which a band that this reminds me of, especially Seasick, is the one I wrote down for this. It reminds me of a little local band that used to be around here called Sutphin.
Well, we used to get compared to Jesus Lizard a lot.
Yeah.
A shit ton. That was probably the one we got the most when it came to, you get down, man, you guys sound like Jesus Lizard, especially when it's just like Tristan on vocals and doing shit like that. I don't know if it was ever intentional, but it definitely, the attitude of this band we all really enjoyed. Mm-hmm. And like, I know Jason was a huge fan of David Sims' bass playing, and Matt loved Mac McNeely's drums, and I love Dwayne Dennison. Tristan loved David Yao. I mean, it was all there. I remember us jamming at practice. We jammed Seasick one time, and it was fun. I would have always wanted to do like a Jesus Lizard cover set, but it seemed too on the nose with that band, I think, to do it. But,
I found the interview I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Britt Walford. So it was both. He kicked down the door, put up 2x4s. Then he broke the toilet, and it was rain. Okay, the exact quote is.
Okay, so
he
both
broke
right.
the toilet, and it was raining pea water in the basement where Steve's recording studio.
This is like Short Stories territory.
So that was David Yao that was saying that.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a nice guy. I like him just fine, but he's a mouth breather.
He's a mouth breather. Great lyric.
Great lyrics.
Yeah.
Well, dude, the lyrics to
I wonder which
Lady
one.
Shoes.
Yeah.
Fucking nasty.
Fucking nasty.
Uh-huh. Just that's the one where I was reading a little bit about that, and some random guy online was saying it was like the Aristocrats joke, the famous, do you know that joke? You know the reference to that?
No. What is
It's
it?
like a joke that comedians told each other.
Okay.
And so I don't know. It's basically you just say like, oh, I've got this act, and you say like the nastiest thing you can possibly think of, and then they're like, oh, what's this called? And you're like, oh, the Aristocrats.
Oh,
like,
okay.
So that's kind of, I think, what they're going for. Maybe some dude online was really like pushing that's what it was. I don't know.
Well, let's read some lyrics from it.
Oh yes,
I got it.
Do.
There's a girl playing her piano. There's a little girl playing her big piano while her mother gives her an enema. While her mother gives her an enema. While her mother. And then the daddy comes in and jacks off on the piano and jacks off on the piano.
Let me take the next one.
Yeah.
And jacks off on the piano and jacks off on the piano. Meanwhile, the local maternity ward nurse comes in with a great big sledgehammer. She kills all the little babies, destroys the monitoring system. She says she got some time to stick around.
She calls the doctor, said, look what I've done. She calls the doctor, said, look what I've done. She calls the doctor, said, look what I've done. Doctor comes in, pops a boner, and jacks off in her cat.
And then the motel manager comes by and takes a little shit in his hand. And he takes a little shit in his hand. And then he takes a little shit in his hand and he puts it on like lipstick. He puts it on like lipstick.
Beautiful.
It's...
Those are some vile lyrics.
It's vile. So, yeah, this is just a greasy,
but
unshowered band.
Yeah, and you kind of hear them. And you can't understand any of David Yao's lyrics ever, really.
Not usually.
Sometimes
he's pretty chaotic with his vocals, but
he's a very, very interesting front man.
Yeah, I don't know anything about their personal lives at all.
No, not really. I know the band. They broke up after they were signed to a record deal and had to finish albums, and one of their last ones, I think it was Down, was like they had to make that record, so it's like not a lot of people's favorites. And then they broke up, then they got back together, and they've kind of played every now and then since, but they haven't made any new music in a long time. But I was just looking before we filmed with the chronology of Head, Goat, and Liar. Those three fucking albums, and they came out each year, are
90,
fucking
91, and 92.
incredible. I had a hard time picking. Head's my favorite.
Okay.
Personally, I picked Goat because I thought it was funny, but Goat's also like my second favorite, but Liar is also really fucking incredible. So like all those records, I was like, man, those came out year after year after year, and they're just absolute ripper albums.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and listen to some of those.
Oh, yeah.
91, same year the Spiderland came out as well.
Oh.
So...
Wow. What are you?
So yeah, both of those albums are as old as I am.
Wow.
And I'm old.
Yeah, Shane's old.
So the song Karpis, do you know who that's about?
No.
Creepy Karpis. He was the inmate at Alcatraz. He had the longest sentence at Alcatraz.
Oh, really?
Also, he was one of the leaders. I mean, how he got in there. He was one of the leaders of the Barker Karpis gang.
Okay.
So, Ma Barker and her sons and all that. Do you know that story?
Mm-mm.
I'll give you a little brief run.
Enlighten me.
Sure. So there was the Barker Karpis gang. They obviously did like Prohibition era gang stuff, robbing things, all that stuff. They were kind of known as being pretty violent. But supposedly, like the story goes, the mom, Ma Barker, was like the ringleader, and she like told them to do all this stuff. But there's also a pretty good chance that the FBI just like lit up this old lady in her house when they were capturing them, and were like, oh, she was technically the ringleader, so they didn't get in trouble. So
shit.
When really she was probably just an old lady. Actually, she was probably a piece of shit, but I don't know if she was the ringleader. I don't think she was. But
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the lyrics on that one are great too.
Yeah. It's
hey,
just
you ain't
prison, rape, and murder.
Yeah. Hey, boy, got no hair on my ass.
Yeah,
I got no hair on my cock. Let's just recite Jesus' lyrics this whole time.
That could be a whole...
Albin's feeling randy, ready to roll, shoving a shib between the shoulders. Safe, I cannot have you, nobody will. Lots of no's and yeses.
No's and yeses.
Yeah. So, out of did you have any other? Did you watch any live footage of them?
I didn't.
Oh fuck, that's like a whole. As you can hear from the record, I think this
Yeah.
band actually translates really well onto records.
Yeah.
Because their live performance is just absolute chaos, as you can imagine.
I bet. It's nuts.
But it's all David Yao. The other three guys just kind of like hold it down. Like David Sims, the bass player, he would go up with those full pitchers of water. He'd have two of them and just keep them. He has two 8x10 cabinets.
Yeah.
And just stands in one place, sweats like a motherfucker, and just rocks the bass. And it's so incredible.
Okay.
And it's all just David Yao just flying around and being David Yao. So great band to watch live. We'll have to.
Yeah, I'll have to watch some of those videos. That sounds great.
Yeah, they're a fucking killer live band.
There are a few bands that their live presence just has no chance of translating onto a record.
Mm-hmm.
I think of bands like The Chariot and a lot of hardcore punk stuff. Like, it's great. I like listening to it, but you know that hearing it live,
it's a
just
totally
like
other
an entirely different experience. Like we didn't talk about this on the last episode, but Husker Du, they had just people wrestling at their shows, just not even on they didn't plan it. It's just like their fans would wrestle,
but like playful wrestle,
like professional wrestling, like diving off the stage, headbutting each other, stuff like that.
I should cut this excerpt into episode.
Yeah, you
11.
should just slop it in there. All right. Yeah, so can you think of any bands that like their albums are good, but their live performance is just like next level?
I would say, their albums are good, live performance is next level. Man, I'd say, I don't know. A lot of the bands I like the records. Mm-hmm. I think there's, okay, so I'd say like. Man, that's a tough one. That's a tough question.
Probably shouldn't have just thrown that at you.
So are you saying like they're not as good on records as they are live? Maybe.
Let's flip it and say they're much better live than on the records. Like the records can still be really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say like the Chili Peppers are much better live.
Okay.
I think. I love their records, but live, that is a totally different experience. I would also say I'm trying to think of bands I actually have experience seeing live. I'd say Soundgarden. When I seen them, they were a really, really incredible live band.
Okay.
Dillinger Escape Plan. Didn't listen to much of their records, but them live was fucking incredible.
I forgot that was a band.
Yeah, they opened for Soundgarden when I seen them. Isn't that bizarre?
That's a really weird lineup.
Yeah, that was like one of their last tours they went on, and I did never hear of them. And man, they were fucking so good live, so good. I'm still am vastly impressed by their live performance. But them or I'm trying to think of. I'm blanking on any concert I've ever been to.
Dillinger is not a band I would recommend for you either.
Yeah, and I thought their live performance was great.
Because they're like mathcore.
They were kind of like, they're like proggy. Yeah, and they were fucking great live.
Huh.
I like Thundercat a lot better live.
Okay.
Personally. At least the first couple times seen him. His first EP is like all instrumental. And then he kind of got more, refined, I suppose. But those were all good. The fuck else? Nora Jones was great live, but her records are also great. So
interesting.
I don't know. Sometimes they can be different experiences. I feel like maybe hardcore punk is one of those things that is really, and metal can be really hard to translate back onto a record.
I think metal does a little better, depending on the genre.
On the metal,
obviously, if you're going to something like really noisy, like Primitive Man or something like that, it's gonna be like a different experience seeing it live. Yeah. But I watched those old Chariot videos. I never got to see them live, and I hate that I didn't get to. But those are nuts. Yeah. I'll have a Chariot record for you for some episode.
Okay.
We'll talk about it more then.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'd say aside from like footage I've watched on YouTube, I'm trying to take it from personal live experience. The Jesus Lizard seems like a band. I love their records. I always thought they were produced well because Steve Albini is the producer on most of them.
Steve Albini is a wizard.
He's got a way
done
of
so much.
So much. He did Bush, Machine Head. You know what I mean? That was his best work.
Hey.
Breathe in, breathe out. That's a Money Shot special right there.
He recorded Gogol Bordello.
Yeah. Yeah, he recorded their like biggest song.
That's wild.
And he doesn't take royalties from anything.
That's nuts.
They just pay him for the record time and that's it. He doesn't believe in like, why the fuck should I get royalties? Sure.
Did you know he engineered the Lil Bub record? Have we talked about that on the show yet?
I don't think so.
Do you know who Lil Bub was?
No.
Lil Bub was a cat that had like some kind of like dwarfism or something.
Oh.
And he didn't have any teeth, so its tongue would hang out all the time. He was very cute. I'll put up a picture of Lil Bub here. I followed him on Instagram. It was great. He died in 2019 though.
Oh man! And Steve Albini engineered.
But they made a record based on the cat, kind of. And yeah, no, they had huge names in it. David Yao interviewed Lil Bub on for the AV Club.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this weird little cat, and he was like in. There's a lot of people involved with that record. I'm not finding it right now, but like. It's wild. Everybody that was on it.
Man, that's so wild.
Let's see. Bub and Friends, meet and greets.
Oh,
Andrew WK.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Party, what is that? Party On or whatever that guy is?
Yeah.
You know he's played in Wichita a couple times? At Barleycorns?
Really? I don't really know much about Andrew WK.
Oh, you know what? I actually have
heard some stuff, but
a good story about Jesus Lizard.
Okay.
So a guy I used to work with, who was a sound guy here in town, told me this story back in the, I think it was the 90s, that Jesus Lizard was opening up for Ministry, right? Mm-hmm. So Ministry was set to play the Cotillion here in Wichita. They canceled the show, and so the Jesus Lizard played at fucking Barleycorns, right?
That would have been
John Barleycorns
freaking show.
And he told me he went to it. And he was like, yeah, it was one of those things that was so last minute, and it was the 90s. Everybody was calling like, hey, fucking Jesus Lizard's going to be at Barleycorns. So they've played at Barleycorns in Wichita on that tour, which was on...
Barleycorns was probably a shithole back then, too.
Oh, it was.
They fixed it up a lot.
Yeah, it was back when it was like a gross punk bar. And, they played here, and it was on the GOAT tour. In 91, they played here. Same guy told me how he saw Fugazi in Lawrence.
That's nuts,
too.
Man.
I'm like, that's fucked up, dude. That'd be so good to see Fugazi.
Yeah.
And Jesus Lizard. Yeah. All of it, but they toured a lot with Ministry. That was kind of their...
That's interesting. That's not really what I'd put them with.
Yeah, they toured with Ministry a lot. There's a bunch of tour flyers you can find. I found a bunch anyways. From that time, so they had a kind of... They're like a big band, but they're not like big, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think they're a really kind of cool piece of music history. They're legends in the punk community, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And they're still, I don't know if they have any shows soon, but they've played a little bit as of the 2020s, I think. They've played some shows. I don't see anything right now, but yeah, they were based in Austin, Texas. The old Jesus Lizard.
The old Jesus little
lizard.
Man, I am not able to talk tonight.
You're speaking in tongues.
Yes. So should we give a rating?
Yeah, let's do it.
How many goats should I do this out of?
They should do out of goats. I think you should do it out of 12 goats.
12 goats?
Episode 12.
I'm going to give this 11 goats.
11 goats?
11 goats.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm so glad you like this one.
I like this a lot. Like I said, compared to Slint quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think I like the Slint album a little bit more.
Yeah.
But this is damn good.
Yeah. This is a damn good record, and I'm glad I recommended it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also, I'd give it like a fucking 12 out of 12.
Yeah, of course.
It was me.
It's your
I
pick.
love this man. Yeah, it's my pick. That's why I picked it. So, you want to go on to the other GOAT album?
Yeah, sure. The Goats.
The Mountain Goats. All Hail West Texas.
Yes.
So, we have the actual record here.
We do.
This is probably the first one that first pick out of the whole episodes that I've actually listened to majority on vinyl.
Okay.
Not really like super intentionally, but I did, and it's a great record to listen to on vinyl.
For sure.
I think with its low fineness.
That's specifically why I bought this one on vinyl, because I remember I had the opportunity to get a different one.
Yeah.
And this is the one I picked.
Yeah. So why did you do you think I liked it?
I honestly have no idea. Because, I mean, you got a girlfriend, and then you just started, like, hating on fucking everything. So, I don't know what
it's the girlfriend's fault, man.
Yeah, it probably is. I don't know. I honestly have no idea what you like. You're all over the place, man.
What are you talking about?
I can't keep track of you.
What, dude, I can't either, man. I can't either.
So, no, I have no freaking idea what you're going to think about.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I really fucking no. I actually like this album a lot.
Okay.
I did. Because I remember you asking me, "Are you okay with lo-fi?"
Yeah.
I'm definitely okay.
I know
with
some
lo-fi.
people that hate lo-fi stuff.
I don't like. I love really clean recordings, but I like the vast spectrum you can take with recording, and I love when somebody can get away. Like most of the time when people are like, "Oh yeah, like this was recorded on this and it sounds like shit," I'm kind of like, eh. Yeah. But this
There's a few people that I think pull it off really well.
Yeah, this kind of music can be pulled off well because it's mainly acoustic.
Yeah. This are like Daniel Johnston.
Yeah, it's like Daniel Johnston. Yeah, like that kind of thing. And so I actually really liked it. I liked the lyrics a lot. Mm-hmm. It's very like the opening track's great. The best ever death metal band in Denton. Yeah. And it's about a band that just played in a bedroom, and then their aspirations are ruined or whatever. And I thought that was a lot of fun. It was a fun storytelling thing. And you're like, somehow he makes the lyric the best ever death metal band in Denton a chorus lyric, which is incredible.
For sure. Yeah, they're this is a really like chorusy band. Like the choruses really hit. The verses are kind of almost more spoken word at some points.
Yeah.
But yeah, very simple. So John Darnielle, excuse me, got the wrong J name. He was the sole founder of the Mountain Goats. He did the first 2 or 3 records were just him. It wasn't until after this one that it became like a full band production.
Oh, okay.
So this one, he recorded this entire album on a Panasonic RX FT500 boombox.
And it says it in the description here.
Description. Basically, this
the inner sleeve of that thing.
Should I read it or should I?
No, you should. Or I can read it. Who else?
I'll read it again.
You read it again.
I made you read it on the episode that never will come out.
Yeah.
So, All Hail West Texas was recorded in central Iowa using a trusty Panasonic RX FT500 and the occasional Marantz PMD 222. While there is seldom much to say about the deliberately primitive nature of the recordings we make, the strange case of the Panasonic is worth considering for a moment or two. Bought at a Circuit City in Montclair, California in 1898, or thereabouts, its functioning used to suggest a combination of 2 technologies, one brutishly sophisticated and the other magnificently cheap. Its built-in condenser microphone didn't condense. That is, it didn't react to changes in volume by automatically contracting its diaphragm. Unless the levels with which it found itself confronted were truly overwhelming, which never happened. Meanwhile, oblivious to this tick of mass production, the machines found itself Machine designers hadn't thought to situate the actual moving parts, that is, the gears, as far as cosmetically possible from this unusually sensitive microphone. The results were uncannily accurate representations of sound, complemented and complicated by some pretty ferocious wheel grind. Basically, he used that for his first 2 records. So it's like you hear the wheel turning.
Yeah,
on the
you
recording.
can.
Like yeah.
I like how he made you read it when you've had trouble talking all night.
Dude, yeah, I've had too much coffee today, I think.
Yeah.
So
I really liked the flow of this record. It flows really well. All the songs are. It kind of what kind of reminded me of?
What did it remind you of?
Kind of reminded me of like the feel of Joni Mitchell. And I know that sounds weird because she's like a folky artist, but it's folky to me.
I really don't know much Joni Mitchell.
So her album, actually, it's the album right in front. I was actually listening to that last night. This is a great Joni Mitchell record. Got it at the record ship. This was one of my first hauls, and it's a very acoustic, very moving kind of thing. It just kind of goes acoustic song after acoustic song, and this one, same thing. Yes. So I really liked the cohesiveness of it, even though it's recorded lo-fi. Dare I say, or some people might say shitty. But it somehow like mixes okay, and it actually he did a good job of getting it to come through in a way that seems kind of heartwarming to me.
It gives it character rather than holding it back.
Yeah. It's not like a way that you feel like you're missing out on a better recording with it. It's like, this is how it just kind of is.
How it is.
Yeah, and I really like that about it actually. My favorite. What do you think my favorite song was?
You always do this to me.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do it again and again every episode.
I think your favorite song was Balance.
I'll give you 2 more tries.
I don't want to do 2 more tries. Just tell me what your favorite song is.
Okay, it's Blues in Dallas.
Oh, okay, that's my favorite song on it.
Really?
Too. Yeah.
I like the little shitty like Casio drum
it's
track.
It's the only song on here that's not just acoustic guitar in its voice. So
and it throws you for a total fucking loop when it comes on because it it's so like fun.
It's such a fun song about the assassination of JFK. It's so great, like
really nailed it.
Yeah.
I thought that one was really cool. And man, I can't believe this album's 43 minutes because it doesn't feel like it.
It goes really fast.
But it's all like 2-minute, 3-minute songs, kind of for the most part.
Lithops Effect is the longest song. It's 4:08.
4:08. That's like a whole Husker Du album in one song. That's crazy.
So the themes of this album, it says on the cover, 14 songs about 7 people, 2 houses, a motorcycle, and a locked treatment facility for adolescent boys.
Intense.
And that's kind of what it is. Like the songs it's not like a concept album. Or it is a concept album, I guess, but it's not like a story that's going through. It's like each one's its own thing. They are partially based on like real stories that he has from people, a lot of them. Like there's one thing I was reading about where John Darnielle was like, he knew this girl and her boyfriend just like disappeared one day. It's because his family had thrown him into a like boys facility because they didn't like what he was doing. He just disappeared. Like
holy shit.
So yeah, like
that's
interesting. The high school running back song, the fall of the high school running back. He based that off of some dude he knew that was like a meth addict. He was talking about being like the star football player.
Yeah, it definitely felt like personal experience on a lot of these. Like
for sure.
I really love the best ever death metal band in Denton. Like what
it's
a song!
It's a great start to the album.
It is, and it just felt like, oh yeah, this is that. Like I felt like there was always that band in like some small town, and Denton's actually a really big music town. I've played really great shows there. But I always love that thing where you're just like jamming with your homies, and then people get jobs or whatever, and then you kind of lose it. But
yes,
I really like that song. It was heartwarming and kind of like a good outside perspective on like that sort of thing,
for sure. And it's a song about a death metal band, and it's like folky.
Yeah, right.
It's great. Which John Darnielle knows his music. Did you look into any of his books that he wrote?
No.
So he wrote the 33 1/3 about Master of Illusion by Black Sabbath.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
And it's partially fictional. Yeah, he wrote it, and it kind of goes along with the song "Best Ever Death Metal Band."
Oh,
because he worked as he worked at a psychiatric ward for a while, and it's based partially on like somebody in a psych ward that's like experiencing Black Sabbath.
Oh man!
Like I haven't read it yet. I really want to though. It sounds great.
That I can't imagine being in a psych ward.
Yeah,
experiencing Black Sabbath.
But he's written a bunch of books.
Wow.
He's got a few novels out that I really want to read. I haven't gotten around to them yet.
Yeah.
He released one this year called Devil House. There's one called Universal Harvester. That sounds awesome. That came out a few years ago.
Okay.
which I think is about like a haunted VHS tape or something awesome like that.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
He's also got a podcast.
He's got a podcast.
Yep. I only listen to the Mountain Goats.
And he's broken down a bunch of their songs on there. So,
wow. Yeah, each episode of the podcast explores one Mountain Goat song in great detail. Link in the description.
For sure. Just listen to his better podcast.
So he's lived in Iowa, Illinois, Oregon, California. He currently resides in Durham, North Carolina. Wow.
Yep.
Oh, he's a vegan.
Sure.
That's what it says.
Okay.
He's a big farm sanctuary guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, cool.
What other bands has he been in? The Bloody Hawaiians. What a name. The Extra Lens.
I haven't heard of anything else that he's done.
Born in Bloomington, Indiana.
So Tallahassee is their more well-known record, I believe.
So I've never really heard of this band before you threw them at me.
So they have a ton of releases.
Really?
Yeah, they've got
one of those
lot
bands.
of stuff. Let's see. Yeah. Their discography section.
Holy
1,
fuck.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 records.
That's fucking nuts, man.
Yep. It's a lot of stuff.
They put out 2 albums in 2020. 21 and 22 they put out records.
Yes. So yeah, they're a lot of people talk about Tallahassee, which is the one that came out, I think, just the year after this one.
Yeah, dude.
Same year. That's like, if you listen to that, it's much different. It's full band, really clean. Like, but it's still got like the really good like lyric writing, songwriting, which I think is their strongest point, is their lyrics.
Yeah,
like, his just writing is excellent.
I'll have to listen to that one because I'm I don't know if you had any more recommended for me, but I am curious because there's a lot of records. Sometimes it can be overwhelming when an artist has like a shit ton of records. You're like, I don't know where. I felt that way with Nick Cave for a long time.
I haven't listened to any of their recent stuff. I've listened to West Texas, Tallahassee, and the Sunset Tree.
Okay.
And yeah, I haven't listened to anything else since then, I don't think.
Do you think?
Which is there's probably some good stuff in there, but
I mean, statistically, there has to be.
Yeah, it's just there's so much. Yeah.
So, do you think? Gosh, that time of the year. Do you think that maybe fans sometimes can be overwhelmed by like too much music, or do you think? I think because
definitely,
I feel like that happens to me sometimes. Like, I look at a band's discography and it kind of like can deter me when there's just so much of it.
Yeah.
Kind of felt like that with Radiohead.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, I didn't get into Radiohead until people got me into Radiohead.
Yeah, until I listened to In Rainbows, and I was like, oh, fuck.
It's like, okay, I get this now.
And Hail to the Thief, I love that album.
Which you have to find that in. Even with certain albums, I have to find a certain song, and then it like makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm same way. Nick Cave was like...
He's got so much.
He's got a shit ton. And once I heard Skeleton Tree, that was like the one that got me. And Push the Skyway, too, was like the 2, and those are back-to-back.
Yes.
But he's got a whole early career. Like, when people have, like, decade sections of, like, oh, yeah, this decade of their music was like
that's
this.
Wild. Yeah.
That's not, like, the Mountain Goats are that. They first record was in 94, and they just put out an album this year again.
Yeah. There's some years I think they put out multiple albums.
Like 2020, 2002, actually. Tallahassee came out same year as this one.
Same year as that one. Dang.
And then you have, most of them are like year after year after, like 2004, 5, 6, and then 8, 9, 11, 12, 15, 17. I mean, they've been more consistent getting them out in like the 2000s. I mean, even then they got 94, 95, 96, 97, but then had like a 3-year break and then came out with The Corner's Gambit 2000.
For sure. That's wild.
So, I mean, that's nuts, but I really liked the themes on this album. I like the tone. I like the lo-fi-ness of it. I think it's an album that actually benefits from it. I don't think I'd like it as much if it wasn't lo-fi, quite frankly.
Yeah, I think it works perfectly. I'm a sucker for stories, too, and that's all this is. It's just stories. So
I would if it was like cleaner, it would just be like another acoustic album.
That's the same thing I said about the Jesus Lizard. If it wasn't as like vocally specifically, if it was clean, I wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and this one kind of felt that same way, where I was like, I don't think I'd like this if it wasn't recorded on that Panasonic fucking thing, you know.
Yeah. Definitely listen to the song "No Children" off of Tallahassee. That's like their biggest known one.
Okay.
And you'll just hear like the fidelity changes completely, but also like it's a much fuller sound. And I think it works really well.
Yeah.
So I think they do both well.
Yeah. And I think this album also benefits listening to it on vinyl. I honestly didn't know most of the song names until like today, when I was like, I knew them, but I had been listening to it on vinyl so much that it was all just a very cohesive one piece thing. Yeah. But when I heard Blues in Dallas, that one's very like, oh, hey, this is a little fun thing at the end, you know.
I was worried you were gonna find it boring because every song is just acoustic guy singing.
No, I liked it actually. I really liked because the storytelling's good. Color in Your Cheeks is great. You know, it's like, it sounds to me what I was like, you know, somebody giving you a drink, like this will put some color in your cheeks kind of thing, you know, which is very like Texas, you know, kind of thing. And I like that. I like that storytelling of it. Felt very personal. It felt very authentic throughout the whole record. That it didn't seem boring to me, which usually acoustic. I mean, I like Joni Mitchell, but that's because she's a great storyteller. Yeah. You can do the acoustic thing if you're a great storyteller. If this was just a bunch of generic like love songs, it would I wouldn't like it. But so this was an interesting one because I was reading like just like ratings of it, and when it first came out, Pitchfork gave it an 8.2, and then when the reissue, which is this one, came out, get a 9.0. So this is supposedly like the way to listen to it, which we didn't talk anything about the bonus tracks on it, which there's a lot of. I didn't even go down that road. There's 6 of them. Yeah. One of them's an alternate take. Yeah, 7. Yeah. One's an alternate take. Waco is the only one I've really listened to very much, and I feel like it just comes up on shuffle sometimes. Yeah. It's a good song. But, I didn't mess with any of the bonus tracks. Yeah. Again, I've listened to them. I like them, but like I think the first 14 are just a good where they're at. Yeah. Yeah, they do like there seems to be like a running theme of just like mundane normal life and just like waiting for something to happen on this record. It's like a lot of it is just like waiting, and that's kind of like getting okay with like having that be your life, which is kind of sad, but well, and it's like the best ever death metal band and they talk about how they got logos on all of their shit. Yeah, and they're just kind of waiting to be. They didn't even have a name. Yeah, they didn't have a name. But great. They're just like, we're the best. You know, I love that because. Yeah, I've been in that situation, you know. You're just crossing your fingers. You're like, we're gonna get signed, dude. We're gonna be playing Warped Tour. Warped Tour. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Rest in shit. Rest in piss. Yeah. So yeah, I really like this album. Nice. I really did. I'll probably listen to it again. I feel like it's a good start on, you know, kind of going. It was a good change up for me. I think for you know, the last one was. Yeah. Between the Buried Me one, so talking shit. Yeah, this is one I go back to like every year or so and give it a listen, and it's nice. Yeah. What season do you imagine this album in? This is a summer record for me. Really? I'd say. I could see that. Yeah, which it's not summer right now, but you know, very far from. Yeah. I think it works in any of them really, but I do think summer when I listen to this. You know, I'm kind of curious like a year from now with some of these records if we'll more associate them with when we film the episode. Maybe. Probably. It could be. Like I know I was listening to an album recently. I can't remember what it was, but my friend was in the car and he was like, this album sounds like it looks outside. And I was like, yeah, it does. Yep. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I do associate them with times, I guess. Yeah. So. Yeah, me too. I'm for sure same way. Like this one for me feels like a fall time thing. Maybe because that's what I've been in my apartment. I was like, you know, wrapping presents and stuff last night, kind of like listening to this and listening to some stuff and getting familiar with it. So, yeah. So did you have anything else? Nope. So out of 12 goats? So. 12 goats, how many goats? I'd give it 10 goats. Nice. Out of 12. Not bad. 10 Tom Brady's out of 12.
You're going to have fun editing this one. Yeah.
I'm definitely going to put Tom Brady in. I just thought of that right now, and that's too fucking funny not to.
You're for sure going to. Is he the one that kisses his dad?
His kids, yeah.
No, he kisses his dad, too.
Oh, I like how it's like his kids, like that was better. I'm like, yeah, no, it's his kids. Don't.
Oh, yeah, he full on kisses his dad on the lips.
That's weird, man.
Put a picture of that up right here. Yeah, you need to see that.
That's the greatest football player of all time.
Tom Brady kisses dad. You'll see it.
Yeah, and there's like the Tom Brady documentary where he's like kissing his kids too.
The New York Daily News article titled, "Yes, Tom Brady kisses his father's on the lips. You got a problem with that?" Yeah, it's gross.
How old is Tom Brady? Like 45 now?
Gotta be.
Still playing football, not doing good this year?
His ancient dad.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think he's just sucking the youth out of people or something
45,
with that.
Yeah.
Oldest football starting quarterback, I think, football player in history.
I don't know anything about Tom Brady.
Big football guy.
You're a big football guy.
Yeah, so Tom Brady.
So 10 out of 12. Oh, I do have something else about the Mountain Goats. Do you know where he got the band name from?
What?
Got it from a Screamin' Jay Hawkins song called Yellow Coat.
And he talks about the Mountain Goats. Huh.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know the song.
With the yellow coat.
That's all I got. It rhymes, so I'd imagine so.
That's what I was assuming. But you know what I say about assuming?
Ass.
Ass. All right. Well, this is the end of the episode.
What do we have coming up next, Joaquin?
Oh, shit. That's right. We got to do the next one. So we are doing a Christmas special. So we're going to do two Christmas specials here for the next couple weeks. We are going to do a Christmas album recommended by Shane and a Christmas album recommended by me. So they're going to each be 1 week, and we're going to do one album each, like the Husker Du episode. Mm-hmm. So the first one, Shane, what did you throw at me?
I threw at you the long-ass record, Songs for Christmas by Sufjan Stevens.
Yes. And
it's 2 hours long because it's 5 EPs crammed together.
And it is 2 hours long. Yep. And I'm not complaining at all.
Yeah, you love Christmas
music. I fucking love Christmas music.
Since I've recommended that, I've listened to it once all the way through.
Dude, it is hefty.
It's long.
I've listened to it in the car. Yeah. Do you want me to throw mine out there?
Yeah, let me know yours.
We'll let people listen to it in the next couple weeks.
Time to work on it. Yeah.
So the one I'm recommending is Norah Jones, I Dream of Christmas.
I should have known.
This one came out in 2021, and I have not recommended a Norah Jones album on this podcast.
You love Norah Jones.
I spent a lot of money to go to California to see her. Yeah.
Just the basic one? There's 3 versions of this album already.
I think the deluxe, the extended's kind of ridiculous. I think the deluxe has some live stuff, so you can stop at Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Okay.
The live stuff's cool. She did a live show on the Empire State Building. It's pretty cool.
On the Empire State Building?
Yeah, like on top of it.
On top? That's pretty cool.
It's pretty neat. It's all on YouTube. So
nice.
Those are our Christmas albums. But let us know what you think of the GOAT albums. The Tom Brady albums.
Yeah. Give us shout out your opinion of the GOATs.
Yeah, the GOATs
section.
Yeah. Let us know what you think about Tom Brady kissing his dad.
Yeah.
Too.
If you're cool with it, let us know. If you kiss your dad,
let us know why.
DM us. Let us explain it to us.
Please. We'll have you as a guest on this show.
I'll hug my dad, and even that's a little awkward, but
I'll hug my dad. I got no problem hugging my dad.
I mean, I got no problem with it, but it's just
You're just dudes
we're not a
bros.
touchy family.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Yeah, I understand. Well,
go French your dad and swap your ears
and buy some merch.
Buy some merch. Yeah, we should have the link up.
Merch will be up. It is actually it's here. We got shirts. So go to earswappod.bandcamp.com and you can order merch there. And we'll have some more stuff coming to you. And be sure to check out the Christmas records.
Excellent.
Goodbye. Thank
goodbye.
You.
Good night.
Hey, thank you for watching that full episode. If you liked it, we also have ear swap clips, and we also have some ear swap merch. You can see me wearing it. You can get it at earswappod.bandcamp.com. So be sure to check that out. There is a link in the description.
You can look just like this guy.
This will be refreshing. We haven't already filmed this episode.
Yeah, this is actually going to be really nice.
Hey, can you plug in your XLR cable just a little bit more? Oh, yeah.
I'm not recording that again.
Ear swap butt plugs. That's our next one.
I feel like my family might disown me.